Let's do it. Let's do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. Letting them all file in here. Let's do that first. Let them all file in here. Brandon, what up, brother? Good to see you. No, we don't got to talk, Leaf. I'm not coming in here early. I ain't even get my soliloquy off yet. No, we don't need to talk. I'm straight with you, Leaf. We'll talk in a little bit. I'm good. Brandon, what up, brother? Darren Watkins, what's up with you, brother? Ain't seen you in a minute. Travio, what up? What's going on with you guys tonight? Fief, what's up, brother? Everybody good tonight? Filing in? Mm-hmm. Mr. Smith, how you running, brother? Mm-hmm. We in effect. So we clear. We now have a series in the NBA Finals, which I think is dope. I thought that we were dealing with a juggernaut in the Denver Nuggets, which we still are, by the way. We still dealing with a juggernaut with the Denver Nuggets. So, what up, Soy? How you doing, brother? First time I seen you in my my YouTube stream. That's dope. Good to see you, brother. So we still are dealing with a juggernaut in the Denver Nuggets, but Miami came with a different game plan, and the game plan was what it's always been with the Miami Heat, from the Milwaukee series to the Knicks series to the Boston Celtics series and to today. We're going to punch you right in your face, which is what they did. That's how the series that's how the game started yesterday. The intensity was there, the execution was there early, and not only was this stuff there early, it was there early and often. The thing with Miami, the thing with Denver, however, is the errors that they had early, these were correctable errors. This wasn't stuff these weren't things that Miami was doing that was a personnel issue that you just had to eat. No, that wasn't the case. That wasn't the case at all, right? This was stuff that was a simple correction. So, for example, to start the game with Eric Spoelstra making a concerted effort to get Max Strus involved in the game early. And the reason why he did that was very simple. He did that simply because I have a shooter who I got to get his confidence back, right? The last time we played, he went 0 for 10. Anybody who knows anything about sports knows that there's a thin line between being elite and being average. And the common denominator with that is confidence. The reason why Jimmy Butler, I said this earlier today and I still stand on the logic. The reason why Jimmy Butler is as good as Jimmy Butler is, right? The reason why Jimmy Butler is as good as Jimmy Butler is, thanks, New World. I appreciate you, brother. Absolutely. I'll keep doing what I'm doing. The reason why Jimmy Butler is as good as he is because when he steps on the floor, he is convinced there's not one of you dudes out here that's better than me. I'm better than every last one of y'all. Even if everybody else is saying this guy is better or this guy is better, Jimmy Butler is on the floor making it clear, I'm better than every last one of y'all. That's where the confidence comes in. If you stepping on the floor and, yeah, I'm good, I think I'm okay against him, I might be all right against him, then that's what you're going to be. You're going to be all right, as opposed to when you step on the floor with the amount of confidence that Jimmy Butler steps on the floor with. And that comes from the work, right? That comes from the work. So with that being said, right, it was a simple fix. Max Strus comes out, cracks 3 of his first 4 threes. So how do we fix getting Max Strus? How do we fix Max Strus getting wide open? Well, the dribble screen between both Gabe Vincent and Max Strus is a simple fix simply because all we have to do is communicate, talk to each other. Because all Strus was doing was slipping the screen. And he wasn't slipping the screen to dive to the basket or get to the mid post or even the mid range. He was slipping the screen and flaring to the 3-point line. These two guys aren't communicating. MPJ and KCP aren't communicating. Bruce Brown and MPJ aren't communicating. Jamal Murray and KCP aren't communicating, which would explain why these guys are, which would explain why he's wide open. Well, talk to each other. We don't have to switch that. Once they start talking to each other, those shots aren't wide open anymore. Now, not only are those shots not wide open anymore, now they start to create turnovers. When they start to create turnovers, they can speed the game up and get easy buckets, which is why they went up 15. They started to get on the backboard more. They started to get out in transition, which made sense in watching them increase that lead. But then we get to the third quarter, and then here we come with the intensity again. And the Miami Heat come out in the third quarter, punch them right in the face. Punch them right in the face. Start the third quarter in the first 2 minutes on an 11-3 run. Well, when you start the quarter like that, right? When you start the quarter like that, that's the momentum changing. Because Denver is what, 13 up? Something like that. They were 7 up going into halftime. Miami comes out on an 11-3 run. They right back in the game. Right back in the game. And now we got a dogfight the entire game. We got a dogfight the entire game. And because now we have a dogfight the entire game, we got to reach in our bag. I thought KCP was extremely undisciplined last night because I'd like to think he's a lot smarter than that. But I think he was extremely undisciplined. I think he was overzealous. I think that a lot of stuff that he did in terms of fouling, cost his team. Fouling Max Strus with the shot clock running down. Fouling Kyle Lowry 24 feet away from the basket with the shot clock running down on a fall-away 3. No reason to foul him. None. No reason to foul him at all. So because of that, right? Because of that, those are things that cost your unit. Those are things that cost your unit. I hear people talking all the time about how the Miami Heat have to make Joker into a scorer. Well, here's the difference. Joker wants to score secondarily. Joker does not want to score primarily. Joker is a player who gets his guys involved in the game. Once he gets his guys involved in the game, then he involves himself in the game. Joker's buckets come within the offense. And Joker becomes more assertive offensively in terms of a scorer when his guys aren't hitting shots. If Jamal Murray is knocking down that mid-range, if Jamal Murray is knocking down that long ball, that makes Joker's offense. That makes Joker's ability to score even better. But when Jamal Murray isn't hitting shots, when KCP isn't hitting shots, when Michael Porter Jr. isn't hitting shots, Joker now has to take on the role of being the primary scorer. He scores, but he scores within what they do. He scores within the offense that they run. Playing as smart as he plays with dribble handoffs. I can appreciate that. With dribble handoffs, with fake dribble handoffs, with playing in the post, because that's design stuff. When these guys aren't scoring, these guys aren't hitting shots, well, now I got to do this even more. And that throws a monkey wrench in what we're doing. So if these guys can get back to hitting shots, which I think that they will, I think Denver will be fine. Their game does travel. This isn't a communication issue like what Denver had in fixing their defense. That was just a communication issue. What Miami has with Denver, they have a personnel issue. And that's the problem That's the problem that we have in more than anything. Spo putting Joker in the middle of the zone. The only reason why that worked, I mean, not Spo, I'm sorry. Michael Malone putting Joker in the middle of the zone. The reason why that works for Spo is because guys weren't hitting their shots. They're going to go right back to that the next time they play them. They're going to go right back to that zone. Michael Malone is going to go right back to putting Joker right back in the middle of the zone. And you know why? Because I think guys are going to hit their shots. Naturally, when you got a big guy in the middle of the zone who's a shot creator, who's a passer, the zone collapses onto him. Well, what Miami did was, Miami didn't do that. They stayed home, and they made Joker become more of a one-on-one player. Well, he still was able to find Jamal Murray in his zone. He still was able to find MPJ in his zone, which, by the way, a point that needed to be made, and I'm surprised nobody's talking about this. When you are in a zone, which is what the Miami Heat run, right? When you are in a zone, why do teams not still run their man-to-man stuff? You can still run your man-to-man stuff against that 2-3 matchup zone, because all Spo is doing, all that 2-3 matchup zone is doing is I'm covering the area. So Gabe Vincent on the left wing, when it's extended to the three-point line, he's covering you up until the middle of the free throw line, which is the same as covering a guy and then switching. It's the same thing, which means that we can run our same action, our man-to-man action. We can run that. Sure, we can run that. But instead of running it like it's man-to-man, what we're going to do is we're going to get into specific spaces. We're not just going to run to a spot. We're going to run the spots with a purpose. Okay, this area is open. With this area being open, I can get a shot here. Get behind the zone and get shots. Get underneath the zone. So I thought that zone that Miami played is as quote-unquote effective as it was only effective because guys weren't making shots like they normally do. Jamal Murray started making shots late, but he wasn't making shots like he normally did throughout the playoffs. And I think that MPJ, if he can get going, KCP, if he could get going, Jamal Murray, if he can get going again, Bruce Brown, if these guys can get going, playing off Joker, because he's going to get you wide open looks. That's going to happen, right? That is going to happen. If these guys can start hitting shots like they were in game one, like they were against the Lakers, like they did against Phoenix, now it becomes a personnel issue for Miami, and they don't have the personnel to match. So that's where I'm at with that. When I think about the Miami Heat, and I hear Gabe Vincent say, we don't give a damn. We really don't give a damn about that. We're just trying to get the 4 wins. Man, that really bugs me out right there, because the reason why it bugs me out is because we make it sound like these guys make it sound like they don't care. That's what they do. They make it sound like we don't hear any of the outside noise. We just rock. And whatever we do, when we get to 4 wins, that's just all about us. No, it's not. There's a competition aspect to this. And the competition aspect that comes with this, right? The competition aspect that comes with this brings out who you really are. So you care that they say you got 7 undrafted guys. You care that they say Gabe Vincent, not only can you not be a starter on a championship team, you're not even going to stick in the NBA. You lucky that he even got on the roster. You care that they say that Duncan Robinson, you care that they say all you do is shoot the basketball and that's never going to translate to winning. You care that they say that stuff. So when you get the 4 wins, it's gratifying because what you're able to do is stick it to them. What do you have to say now? You're not just hanging banners in the arena just because. No, you want everybody to see This is what we did. We shut everybody up. And it's cool that you feel like that. And the reason why it's cool you feel like that is because, again, we talking about competition. And the competition aspect is what takes over everything else. You dudes ain't just playing to be playing. We just playing to win. And once we win, that's just the end of it. We good after that. No, that's not why you're doing it. You want to prove people wrong. We don't give a damn about what you say. Well, if you don't give a damn about what they say, that means that you ain't listening. But you are listening. Because when you actually do it, you say, well, what you gonna say now? So I just have a difficult time listening to people say stuff like, not people, I have a difficult time listening to dudes like Gabe Vincent, like Jimmy Butler. We don't care. Yes, you do. You absolutely care. Yes, you do. You care that you were the last pick in the first round and you became an all-pro. You care that you were the last pick in the first round and you became an all-league defender. You care and you want to stick it to these guys. What y'all got to say about me now? Like, it's amazing how we all forget about Michael Jordan's Hall of Fame speech and everything he said at his Hall of Fame speech. Like, we completely forget about that. Like, it doesn't matter that Jay stuck it to everybody. His high school basketball coach, the dude who he got cut for. We completely leave all of that stuff out. Jay, you can't shoot the bat. Jay, you can't play defense. James, there's a reason why he's saying what he's saying. All of these dudes, Steph Curry, these dudes care about this stuff. That's why they want to stick it to you guys when they do it. That's why they say what they say. We don't care. Yes, you do. You absolutely care. So, and it's cool that you care because you're supposed to. You absolutely care because you're supposed to. So, no doubt. What up, Leaf?
Before you start yelling, I just want you to know that everything that I said on Thursday, I said what I said. And I expected game one went the exact way I thought it was going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the issue, when I came out of game one, I focused on the fourth quarter, and I said to myself, Chilltown was right. And you know what you was right about? Miami is going to fight.
Mm-hmm.
And they fought.
Mm-hmm.
And they definitely fought. But it was kind of too little too late. But the energy that they started game two with is exactly what they finished the fourth quarter in game one with.
Mm-hmm.
That's the energy that they started with. They had got under the dribbling. They had cut off a lot of the dribbling that Denver was doing. They got back on defense as usual. They checked all the boxes on defense as usual.
Yep.
You had said something earlier, and I was thinking about it, and you said the Denver Nuggets have a communication problem. And then I think you also said, if I'm not mistaken, you might have said this, I might have been listening to something else, but you also said that they have an effort problem.
Mm-hmm.
They got a big time effort problem because they're dealing with a team that's not going to quit, that's not going to lay down.
From the door, Leaf. From the door, not over the course of the game. Not okay. We're going to turn it up. No, right from the beginning, I got my boxing gloves on, and I'm coming right in the middle of the ring. I'm gonna punch you in your face, and this is what it's going to be all night long. I'm not personnel to deal with you like that, but I can tell you right now what I am going to do. I'm gonna fight you.
One thing I was concerned with coming into this series, it wasn't Bam and Jimmy versus Murray and Joker.
Mm-mm.
It was Miami's guards versus Denver's guards and Miami shooters versus Denver shooters. MPJ has not shot well in that game 1 or 2. KCP has not shot well in game 1 or 2. Bruce Brown, he's been what he's been on defense, but listen, if you getting outplayed by if Duncan Robinson is starting the fourth quarter, knifing into your defense for N1s at the basket, you got a big problem in this series. You got a big problem. And the thing is, I don't know if the Nuggets could clean it up. And the reason why I say this is because I don't think the Denver Nuggets have been challenged like the way that Miami is challenging them all postseason. You go to the Minnesota series, what did you tell me? Aaron Gordon played cat to a standstill. You go to the Phoenix series, Phoenix only had Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. As much as they was incredible, and it still wasn't enough because the others wasn't doing nothing. You go to the Lakers series, D'Lo basically got nerfed like a football. You know the Nerf football band. That shit is that shit that you throw, and then it's like that. He basically got nerfed. And all the other role players got nerfed in that series. Miami is something about this Miami team. And I realized it in the fourth quarter of game one. And I realized the second that I realized after Thursday night, I realized I had came on your show and I screwed up. I screwed up. I really screwed up because this series, now that everybody knows each other's game plan, it's going to come down to effort. It's going to come down to who wanted more. It's going to come down to fight. It's going to come down to heart. It's going to come down to all the things that we love, but nobody could really measure.
Right.
And
So,
Miami checks all the boxes.
So your issue with the Denver Nuggets is not the personnel, not the players that they got, because we got the talent, but I'm not sure that you dudes got the fight that these dudes have. That's what it sounds like your issue is.
I'm coming towards that conclusion.
That's what it sounds like. In terms of talent, in terms of skill, in terms of all of that other stuff, I got what you got, but I don't think that you dudes got the fight that these dudes have. Now, the thing that I'm thinking about with that is I do think that Denver has that fight. And the reason why I think that Denver has that fight, number one, their best player, he's Serbian. He's from Brooklyn. He's from Jersey. He's from Los Angeles. He's not going to let you dudes just push him around. And when you see your leader like that, dudes like Bruce Brown, the first thing that I find out when you see a leader get pushed around, that diminishes the other dudes. That's what happened with the Boston Celtics early in that series against Miami. When you saw Jason Tatum get pushed around, when you saw Jaylen Brown get pushed around, it was Grant Williams who stepped up to the bully and said, "Yo, somebody got to swing on this dude. Man. Somebody got to do it because you ain't going to do it." And once somebody actually did it, then you saw the fight come back.
And you said it clean as day. You said Grant Williams, he was out there to fight. I just need one of y'all to fight with me.
But that's not the best guy, though, Lee.
The difference in this series is that it's not just the fight, it's not just all the other stuff, it's the discipline. KCP, you can't foul like that in that fourth quarter. Christian Braun, you can't get lost like you got lost on the same play
Now, wait a minute though, Leaf. We talk. He just got the job, so I got to give Christian Brown a little bit of leeway. He just got the.
It's the finals. You go. Everybody
even if that's true, SB. I'm not a 5-year vet. I'm not a 3-year vet. I just got the job. I was in college last year. I'm getting heavy minutes in the playoffs and in the finals on a championship team. There's some guys who aren't prepared for that.
OG, who was the other guy with him though? Who was the rotator? Who was the other guy? What was the other side? That's who you blamed then, because he got to be a vet.
Of course, it's a communication issue. 100%
issue.
Of course it is.
Because the first time they didn't switch, and then the second time he stayed and he tried to switch. It was bad communication on the pick.
Right.
I mean the down screen with the Duncan Robinson. But I also, at least on your point, I do believe that the Denver Nuggets do have a fight. But sometimes, that's like seeing different boxers. Like, yeah, this Miami Heat team might have their Tyson fighting them. That's true. And they look tougher. But you still got a Lennox Lewis over here, where they still got fight in them. So they not no punks. They ain't like the Celtics. They ain't gonna fold. They ain't gonna crumble. Because of course, when you see your if you believe in your guy, he's a Superman, and you see Superman get hit kryptonite, as other guys, you're gonna fall back like, man, you knocked out the Superman. It's ugly. So that's the only thing. But I think the Nuggets got to fight though, for sure.
Chilltown, you might remember this. My father's favorite boxer of all time was Marvin Hagler. Do you remember the Marvin Hagler Tommy Hearns fight?
Yes, sir.
You remember the first round of that fight?
War. He came right out and went after him.
Right out
and went after him.
Very best and took it and he split him right here.
And
it still didn't go down.
And
that fight kind of reminds me of this series.
Okay.
It's like, Miami is basically Marvin Hagler. No matter what you do to me, no matter how you hit me, no matter what haymakers you come with,
Mm-hmm.
it ain't gonna be enough. I'ma still stand here, and we gonna see who the bigger man is, and we gonna see who tougher than who. And the thing is, when you have when you have Larry, Vincent, Strus, Duncan Robinson, who's
Gabe
reemerged,
Vincent.
yeah, and they all getting after it on both ends,
Mm-hmm.
and they not running on both ends, and they all got confidence on both ends.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at KCP like, yo, what are you doing? I'm looking at MPJ like, yo, what are you doing? I'm looking at Bruce Brown like, yo, what are you doing? Because Bruce Brown and KCP are they grit guys, are the grit guys for Denver. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
I
Yes.
say both
So
for
my
KCP
thing
because
is,
he got the championship experience too.
exactly, and KCP's supposed to know better.
He
You
do.
cannot have the fourth quarter that you had if you the Denver Nuggets as the others after what Joker just did in the third. Joker carried them in the third. Like it was no other discussion that man, Nikola Jokic,
But
was the best player alive.
But no,
today.
agreed, right? Agreed. But you don't think that falls into Miami game plan because Denver is not as good as the team they is if Jokic is the primary scorer and scoring every time. They say, no what? Drop 50 on us, Jokic. Hey, nobody else doing nothing. And it worked in Miami favor.
You know
and
something.
I think that's
SB,
how you beat Denver, though.
You know something, SB? Yeah. I'm shaking my head to that too. And I'm kind of like Spoelstra on this. The thing is, it's like you can't prepare for that. The thing is, like, I understand what the stats say. I understand what the win percentage is when he score a lot and when he don't dime a lot. But the thing is, you can't prepare for that. If he going off the way he going off in any way, shape, or form, he's going off because he's that damn good. He really is that damn good. And the thing is, Chill, I'm just thinking to myself, I go back to what I said before the series. I said, yo, this series is gonna come down to the guard and the shoot and play of Miami versus Denver. And right now, Miami has the edge. I think Miami has the edge.
And remember too, SB, you talking about a Joker who he operates primarily within that offense. He's not KD, right? He's not James. He doesn't deviate from what they do. He operates the stuff that he gets, it's within their offense. And when he goes into his one-on-one and he goes into becoming a primary scorer, that's largely due to the fact that ain't nobody else scoring.
Facts.
Because he'll go to other people early and often because that's his game. He's looking for other people. He's looking for Jamal Murray. He's looking for KCP. He's looking for Aaron Gordon. He's looking for all of these guys because he knows they play off of him.
Yep.
Right? He knows that they play off of him. So when they play off of him and they're scoring, well, what that means is my game offensively is going to get even better. Right?
I got a question. Not to cut you off. I got a question for you. Do you think they should call their own number off the rebounds when they in transition in terms of not necessarily looking for Jokic to
I think they do that. I think they do that. Like when Jamal Murray get it off the glass, he gone. And Joker is just running. I think that when Aaron Gordon gets it off the glass, he might hit Jamal Murray and he running. I don't think that they just waiting on Joker. No, I don't think that they're doing that.
I think Miami's transition defense has something to do with that in terms
of
it
does.
It's funny y'all say that because my question is, what do y'all think about that controversial last play by not calling the time? Because they did have timeouts. I think no matter how good Eric Spoelstra is defensively, you got to shut it down and call a play.
We're not SB. We seen that, but we seen it before. We seen it with teams that's real confident in their offense and real confident with living with the results of the final play. So it's not nothing new. The thing is, whether it was a good call or a bad call, the thing is they was already behind the back now because Jamal Murray had Jimmy on him and he had to deal with that all game. Jimmy is more focused on defense, and then in the fourth quarter he's saving his best stuff. So he's more the Rome facilitator in the series. In terms of the dribble handoff, everything begins and ends with Bam. But Bam in that dribble handoff situation and Joker playing drop coverage, that ain't gonna cut it. Because at some point you're gonna have to show or hard hedge or whatever the case may be. At some point, you know what I'm saying? So my thing is just like, this is a terrible imbalance between the Denver Nuggets defense allowing the others on Miami to get confidence. This is a terrible thing because he's running that dribble handoff with damn near anybody.
SB, if you and me getting ready to have a fist fight, and I say to you, all right, hold on for a second, let me take my coat off. You gonna let me take my coat off?
Oh no, of course. As soon as you put your coat on your head, I'm punching you.
There you go. Well, that's what happened. That's what happened last night when they got the ball off the backboard. Ain't no way we're gonna let you set. I'm gonna call timeout and let you set your defense up. I already got you on your heels.
Exactly.
I already got you on your heels. You don't know what I'm running. Right. Not only do you not know what I'm running, we got the momentum because if we forget that. I think that Denver was up. I'm sorry. I think Miami was up like 12 in like the last 2 minutes.
They came. They was knocking down shots,
and Denver got back in it. So with that being said, we got the momentum. So to get the ball off the glass and go with it, but then call timeout, give them an opportunity to rest, give them an opportunity to set their defense up. That's not helping us. Right. That's helping them. We got them on their heels.
I would have called timeout like when they got to the
shot. That's a shot that Jamal Murray has made plenty of times too. By the way, like that shot that he made, that wasn't a shot. That wasn't a shot that Jamal Murray shot that was out of control. He's made that shot plenty of times. Even last night, he made a shot like that.
He did. I agree. Though. My point is this though: like, all right, it's 9 seconds. For within like 3 seconds of the play, when they tried to make something that didn't work, I'll probably just be like, oh, "We ain't getting none," because they didn't get really. That was a tough shot to make. Even if Jamal Murray does make that shot, you can't deny that was a tough shot.
But that's him though. That's him though. SB, one of the things that Jamal Murray has that a lot of people don't have, he's a tough shot maker.
Agree.
A lot of people don't give him a lot of credit for that. He's a tough shot maker. Where he's got a Joker. Where he got a hand in his face, or he got a guy all over him, and he'll still make a shot. So Jamal Murray is a tough shot maker. I didn't have a problem with him shooting that shot at all because I've seen him make that shot plenty of times.
I can respect that.
Yeah, but the difference in this series is him being able to insert himself over Jimmy that's basically devoted on defense, and he made his living. His almost his entire career of being a defensive player. That's how he came in this league.
You know who bred Jimmy, right?
Jimmy,
we bred Jimmy here. We gonna take that's our son. We Chicago bred him. Noah, Rose, Boozer. We bred him.
And I give y'all all the credit in the world for that. But I think the thing is, when Jimmy wants to be focused on one thing, on a portion of the game, he's focused on that one thing. Listen, Jamal is my assignment. Murray is my assignment. It's my fault if he go off for 30 plus. It's my fault if he go off. If you start hitting stuff, it's my fault.
Keep it a buck. Just keep it a buck. Tip your hat to Jimmy. He's one of those old school superstars, early 2000s type of superstars.
Yeah,
we play both sides of the ball. I'm the best player on this side of the court, and I'm gonna guard the best player on this side of the court.
Right.
In my position. But he's an old school type of superstar.
Yeah, and the thing in this series, the more and more trust that he's having in the others to handle everything on offense. Yo, hey, listen. I got him. Don't worry about him. I got him. Don't fall for no screens. I'm going to fight over them. I got him. I don't want y'all dealing with him. And I'm talking about Murray. I'm dealing with him. Y'all take care of the offense. Y'all shoot. We're going to play our game. You're going to get open. You're going to take your shots. Yo, you got this. You got this, Vincent. You got this, Strus. You got this, Duncan. Yo, I'll take care of that. Bam. Yo, you got Joker. I got Murray. And that's basically what's happening in this series. But the thing is that the separator is Miami shooters over Denver's. Yeah. Miami's others over Denver's. Yeah. KCP, MPJ, Bruce Brown. Listen, if they don't clean this shit up, this might be like we looking at a 3-1 lead coming back to Denver, probably.
I don't know. That's tough to say.
Let me say it so you have it printed on your video. Ain't nobody copying me and mimicking. I got my camera on now.
I'll tell you, put your hat on. You gotta put your brim. You gotta have your brim.
I'm not putting the brim on, man. Like, I'm not putting that on. Listen, I'm not hiding from this. If MPJ and the others don't get it going,
this could be a short series.
It's over, Chill.
This could be a short series.
You understand me? This
could
is
be
over.
a short series. All right.
It could be very short.
All right.
Because they're going back to Miami, and the thing is, Denver, they got to play with their backs against the wall. You know what I'm saying? They got to.
Well, the series already started. Everybody knows that the series don't start until the home team loses. Well, the series started.
The series started now.
The series has officially started. 100%.
And thank God, because I've been so tired of Lakers fans And I ain't gonna lie, it's a little jealous hate because I wish I could be that spoiled as a Lakers fan. They try to say this finals so trash, this finals this, and I say it's not trash. Y'all just don't like basketball. Well, y'all just spoiled because y'all so you see y'all team winning. Now the finals trash because the Lakers not there. And I hate
it. You know what it is, SB? It's casuals.
Yeah,
you gotta stay.
That's all it is.
Stay out of they peripheral. It's these LeBron lovers.
That's all it is.
These Laker lovers. Listen. This is why I said
not all of us, Leaf. Not all of us.
Not
all of us. Not all of us. Not all of us. But it's plenty of us though.
You're standing too close to the other, so I gotta shoot you anyway.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get it straight because I'm standing on the block. I'm standing on the block. I'm standing on the block. And when you come through the block, yeah, I'm standing on the block. And yeah, that's all me. So
my question is this though, OG. I got from the point. Who would benefit more from this championship, legacy-wise? Because, everybody, that's the only thing they care about when they really come to talk. Jokic or Jimmy?
Well, Jimmy older, so I think this is probably Jimmy Butler's last opportunity. I'm having a difficult time seeing the Miami Heat back in this position again. So I think that the window is closing. So I think that if they're going to win it, it got to be now. I think Joker got some more years left ahead of him. Mm-hmm. So because I think he got some more years left ahead of him, he may get another opportunity. For buckets as the guy, I think this is it right here. If he doesn't do it, I think that this is probably his best opportunity. So
now my second point, remember, the narrative I've been pushing.
I would agree with you.
So wait, is you count Jimmy as a 3 or a 2? Because I already said if we count him as a 2, he top 10. He played
the 2 guard. He played the 2 guard.
Oh, he top 10. Reggie got to go out there. Reggie got to go.
Now remember. So now and I'm gonna now the thing that SB keeps forgetting. You keep forgetting number one, that Indiana Pacers team. Number one, they was in the Eastern Conference Championship 5 times in 7 years. B. Why we talking about that? Why we talking about them? And they went to the finals just like Miami did. Mm-hmm. And they probably were going to go back to the finals if Ron Artest ain't start a fucking riot. I had them winning the NBA championship.
Absolutely. It
could have
happened. I had them winning the NBA championship that year. And he was the man on every last one of them teams from
but not that team. Not that team.
But from them 5 trips in 7 years, he was the man on every last one of those teams, carrying them teams to the Eastern Conference Championship with Dale Davis and Haywood Workman and dudes like that. He was doing the same thing.
I mean,
and Sam Mitchell, dudes like that. So,
you see, SB, you tried it. I know what you did.
No, I didn't do anything.
No. I know what you did. I know what you did just now. You know what you tried to do, Chill? This is why I'm gonna get him. You know what you tried to do? You tried to disacknowledge the fact that Jimmy been playing a small forward ever since he left Chicago. Let's get that out of the way.
Not in Minnesota. He played the 2 in Minnesota.
In Minnesota, he played the 2.
He played 2.
Andrew Wiggins played the 3.
And right. Okay, all right. So we going to
Philly. And sometimes he played 2 in Miami.
He played the 3 in Chicago too. Wade played the 2 that one year.
Yeah. I know he played the 3 in Chicago, but he was more mixed up. So the thing is, his best years is as a 3.
I mean,
am I wrong?
No, you're not.
Yeah, I can give you that.
Kind of like Tim Duncan, his best years was at the 4, even though he played the 5 too.
So and we call him the greatest power forward ever. So the list is Jordan, Kobe, Wade,
Drexler.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, Reggie got to go.
Yes, I was thinking of Ray Allen, Reggie Miller, and then it gets tricky after that. Guys like,
I'm just saying.
Allen Iverson, Jerry West, Steph Curry, James Harden. I put all of them dudes in the same category. I don't think that they 2 guards.
So no Iverson. So
those dudes is combo guards.
Yeah, OG got a combo guard.
Number 5 is Harden.
Like I said, James Harden, Jerry West, all of them. I put them dudes in the same category. So, but fellas, I got to bounce.
So it would be a Ray Allen or like a T-Mac type of.
I mean, when I think about the best 2 guards, like Sam Jones got to be in that category. He has to be. I gotta put Sam Jones up there. I mean, we got a dude that he won an NBA championship 10 times in a row. He averaged 19 a game.
That is true. I mean, not a lot. I mean, but the
18, thing is, he averaged 18 a game in the regular season, 19 a game. His production went up in the playoffs. Now he wasn't.
Chill. You such a historian that a lot of the people and they ain't gonna value that. A lot of the basketball fans on these channels, they ain't gonna value that. But I got one more thing for you.
These how many rings I got. These how many rings I got.
One more thing before we leave. The the Sam Cassell to the
I love
Celtics.
that. I love that.
Love it.
I love that.
Maybe mozzarella stick can teach defense.
And I already know where you're going to, Leaf. I know what you're about to say. That leash is short. Yes, it is. That leash in Boston is short. Yes,
maybe he'll teach the defense now.
So what? Do they go after a point guard so Sam Cassell could groom, or do they keep the same cast?
I think that what Marcus Smart has never had, he ain't never had a dude like Sam Cassell teach him the game.
That's true.
So I think that he's gonna see the game different, especially as an vet. Like Marcus Smart ain't over. He's been in the league since 15, so we talking 8 years. So to get a guy like Sam Cassell who can show him different things, he ain't in year 13 or 14 where he over. But I will tell you this: if it doesn't translate early, do not be surprised, because that leash is going to be short for that coach.
I think Brogdon could benefit more than him. That's just me, but I mean. Because the thing is, when they brought Brogdon in, I'm just thinking to myself, okay, they can move Smart over, maybe to maybe like for a small lineup if they run JB at the 3 and JT at the 4. That's what I was thinking, but they didn't end up doing that.
But this y'all gotta understand though. Tatum gonna have to get paid an extension. Brown gonna get paid. Somebody gonna have to get sacrificed, even money wise. And Marcus Smart gonna be there. And if you gonna sacrifice Marcus Smart for a point guard, that'll be perfectly fine.
Now remember though, SB, this isn't right now. I mean, Jaylen Brown is under contract. It's not like he's an unrestricted free agent. They still got him for another year.
But I'm trying to tell you, OG,
they still have some time. But we got to figure the money out, and
they don't do it early.
Yeah, we got to figure the money out 100%.
And you know my thing, Chilltown. Don't sell me. Because I'm gonna crap on you if you sell me. So if y'all got Sam Cassell and y'all sell him, I'm not giving no more chances.
Don't be surprised
if you know
if Marcus Smart's gone.
Boston,
just don't be surprised if Marcus Smart gone. They're gonna get more traditional point guard. Brown gonna go to his natural position, and Tatum gonna go to his natural position at the 2 and the 3.
And I think that would be great for.
I think that would be better.
I wouldn't mind that at all. You already know how I feel about Tatum and Brown. I think they 2s and 3s. Jason Tatum is not a 4-man. So, all right, fellas, I got to bounce. I got some other people in here. It was good to talk to you dudes. I know where to find y'all at, no doubt. Good stuff. That's really good stuff. What up?
Hello.
What up?
Are the Bulls an overrated franchise?
It depends on what you mean when you mean over. How do you rate them? Where do you have them rated at?
I just think people praise them as like they're still like, this historic franchise. And I get it. Like, they did do their thing in the 90s, but after that, like they haven't built themselves up, like how the Lakers and the Celtics are.
Yeah. We can say the same thing. I think they had a run. That's what I think. I think that they had a run, and I think that run was awesome. They weren't very good before they got Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Phil Jackson, and they weren't good afterwards. So with that being said, you can say the same thing about the Boston Celtics. Just so you know, the Boston Celtics have won the NBA championship one time since 1986. That was 37 years ago. They've won it once, and they've been in the NBA championship 3 times since then.
Yeah, but they've had winning seasons, unlike the Bulls. Like the Bulls probably had like 1 or 2 winning seasons after like Jordan.
Well, that's not true. That's not true at all, because they made the playoffs. Let's see. So Jordan left in 98. They had that stretch from 98 to probably, I think, 2005. They made the playoffs with Kirk Heinrich. Then they made the playoffs again. Let's see. I think they made with Kirk Heinrich and Luol Deng. They ended up sweeping the Miami Heat in 2006, 2007, who had just won the NBA championship. They get Derrick Rose, I believe, in 2008 or 2009, and then they start getting back to the playoffs again and making deep runs. And then Derrick Rose gets hurt. I believe it was in 12. In the summer of, I believe it was in 12, he got hurt, and then after that, then it kind of went the other way. But then they got back into it. So they weren't a terrible franchise. They were making the playoffs. And they were making runs in the playoffs, but they weren't what they were in the 90s. It just depends on where you have them rated. I think that's what it is more than anything. Like I don't have the Bulls, and I don't talk about the Bulls like I talk about the San Antonio Spurs. I don't talk about the Bulls like I talk about the Lakers. I don't talk about them like those. I don't talk about them like them. No, I don't.
Because like we're almost like 25, 30 years removed from the last championship, and like they haven't done anything like in terms of like picks and stuff. And I know Derrick Rose, was like an injury and stuff, but like,
we're not almost 25 years. They won it in 98. That was 25 years ago.
Yeah, Okay.
25 years ago. That was the last time they did it. So when you're talking about great franchises like the San Antonio Spurs, I mean, they was in the playoffs for 20 straight years. The Utah Jazz, they didn't win an NBA championship, but being in the playoffs 20 straight years, like stuff like that, sustainability matters, and I care about that stuff. So, all right, brother. Yep, I'm listening.
Do you think the U.S. men's basketball team now going to have competition now in the Olympics after how there's Canadian players in the league now and all the European players are taking over? Do you think the U.S. now has a
Well, they've had competition. That's this is another conversation that I don't think that people have nearly as much as they should. People discount how good that Spanish team was that they beat in the gold medal game. That Spanish team was a damn good team with Rudy Fernandez and Pau Gasol and Ricky Rubio and Marc Gasol. That was a damn good Spanish team. I believe that they won the silver medal twice. And not only did they win the silver medal twice, this is a Spanish team that was together for a long ass time. They've always had competition in the Olympics, but with that Spanish team, I think that Spanish team in particular, that was a damn good team. 100% they were. So
what about moving on forward, with Jokic and all the Europeans and coming into the league? Do you think now they have a shot at winning it?
I mean, it depends on what that Serbian team or not the Serbian team. I believe it's the Yugoslavian team. It depends on what they do, but I still think that America has. I think the USA still has the best collection of talent. I think the difference is with these other countries. These guys have been together for so long. So because they've been together for so long, that's why they are as good as they are. I mean, that Spanish team with Rubio and Rudy Fernandez and Gasol. I mean, they've been playing together since they were kids. They were an actual national team, which would explain why they were as good as they were. So, yeah.
I think Canada might make some noise too because they got a lot of Canadian players now, they're in the league. So it could be anyone.
I would like to see Jamal Murray and Andrew Wiggins and them dudes get together and see what they can and see if they can make some noise. I would like to see that. Yeah, I would. So 100%. All right, brother. Good to talk to you.
Yeah.
Yo.
What's going on, OG?
What up?
All right, I'm gonna switch gears a little bit. I'm here in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
As you know, just fired Bud. Adrian Griffin. I don't know too much about him. I just know he worked under Nick Nurse.
Yeah.
The assistant staff there. Yeah. What do you think he's gonna bring to the table?
Well, first and foremost, let's discuss him being a player. So he played 12 years in the NBA, and as a 12-year NBA player, he was a tough, gritty, hard-nosed guard who could score from time to time, but he was a rotation guard. He was on that Dallas team that lost in the NBA championship to the Heat in 2006. He played 12 years. Yeah, he was on that team, and then move forward. He's been an assistant for 14 years. Right, so he was in Chicago, not just in Chicago. He was under Nick Nurse, so he's been around for a long time. What he's going to bring is he's going to bring a defensive-minded X and O coach. Imagine Tibbs set a little bit more player-friendly, as opposed to
that sounds amazing in theory.
A hard nose. I mean, Giannis vouched for him. Giannis gave the thumbs up for him, so he knows who he is. So he's an X and O guy who's been around the league for a long time. I love the fact that Milwaukee has given this guy an opportunity because he can coach. He absolutely can coach. So I think it's good for Milwaukee. Yeah, that's what you get. You're gonna get a tough X and O guy. You're gonna get a tough-minded defensive coach who, by the way, depending on who he hires on his staff, is also going to be good too.
Right. Yeah. I think he's getting his assistant staff together right now. I don't know how much he's going to keep of the old one of Bud's, but we'll see. Yeah. Okay. All that sounds super amazing in theory, because I know he started his coaching career with the Bucks too. However long that was. You said 15 years or something like that.
14 years he's been on the bench. 14. So he's been around a long time.
So okay, when you put it like that, I think Milwaukee's a great start for his head coaching career. Hopefully
you're not just somebody. Yeah, you're not just hiring somebody out the blue, B. This isn't just some guy that you're hiring. He's a really good candidate. And in fact, he was the guy who I'm pretty sure when he left the interview, Milwaukee was like, I think that's our guy right there.
Man, what an impression he must have put on.
Yes, I think that's our guy.
That's good to hear. Because hopefully we give him more than 2 years and don't just put him in a gauntlet and be like, okay, you got to win now.
Well, here's the thing. That's the difference. But that's where we are in Milwaukee. So, I mean, Giannis, this is a championship caliber team, and that window is not open. It's not going to be open long. I mean, we got to still see what you're doing with Middleton. Drew Holiday is getting up there in age. He's 33 years old, right? Brooke Lopez is 36 years old. So you got a lot of guys who are long in the tooth, right? Giannis is 28 years old. So this isn't a team that you're trying to develop. No, just won the NBA championship 2 years ago. You're going backwards now. We got to get back to that. So this isn't a development thing more than it is just a personnel change. We got the guys to get back there. It's just a matter of getting back there.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
One more question. Do you think, I know he's going to be a defensive minded head coach, but do you think he is going to make good offensive, have a good offense? And do you think he will make good offensive adjustments in the playoffs?
I think that's where the assistants come in, right? So if you can remember, Phil Jackson, as good as Phil Jackson was as a coach, I mean, Tex Winters was the X and O guy, right? So it's a matter of bringing in a really good X and O guy who, I'm not a big fan of Mike D'Antoni, and I don't love.
Me neither, to be honest.
I'm not a big fan of Mike D'Antoni, but to bring in a guy that maybe wants to speed the game up, and when the game does slow down, he can give you a really good X and O strategy. To bring in a guy like that, right? A guy like that who can really help your squad when you get to a point where things start to slow down and you can't get a basket. You know you got somebody who can draw something up or who can get your team in the offense that's going to be successful. I think that's where it's going to come into play more than anything. Because as good as Steve Kerr is, he got a damn good staff over there of X and O guys.
Facts. Kenny Atkinson. Yeah, we interviewed him too. Yep. So okay.
Absolutely, brother. It's good to talk to you, my man. No doubt.
Thanks, OG.
Yep. Dub C, what up, brother?
Oh, my bad. I'm here. Oh, what's good with you, bro? How's everything?
Running good, brother. What's going on with you?
Chilling. I just wanted to double check with you. Did you get a chance to watch those first 10 minutes?
I did, and that was dope too. I'm glad you broke that down. So, I want to start the conversation with nobody said elite playmaking. So let's get to the bottom of that, Dub.
Oh, that's my bad. My bad. Okay. I got overboarded. I apologize for that. That's my bad.
Nobody said that. So, the first play that you broke down. So the first one you broke down where he's got the ball at the top, and I don't even think he was charged with an assist for that with Gabe Vincent off the 2 dribbles. I don't think he got an assist for that.
He was.
Was he charged with an assist for that?
So what I do a lot of the time, I'll go on NBA.com. And I'll go to traditional stats, and they'll break down all the times where they track the assists and track the points, field goal attempts, and things like that. They did track that as an assist, which I keep talking to Lo about that. Some of the assists they be giving people is just ridiculous. Like Gabe Vincent, getting it on top of the key and doing a sidestep mid-range shot. That shouldn't be an assist to Jimmy Butler, man. It's just ridiculous, but that's how the NBA does it.
Now, so the one of the assists that you broke down where I believe it was Duncan Robinson, basically off a flare. Right? So Duncan Robinson coming right off of a flare. Jimmy Buckets has got the ball on the right wing, on the right wing.
3?
Yeah. So
Strus.
Now, it was Strus. Now, here's the difference. Here's the big deal about that in terms of playmaking. So it's important to get guys the basketball when they're open, where they're open in their spots. So as simple as that pass may seem, he knows Strus. He might get the basketball to him too late. He might not even get the basketball to him at all. He might dribble and throw him off rhythm. So it might seem like I'm just getting it and throwing it to him. No, that's a design play. Not only is it a design play, it's designed to get him the basketball when exactly he needs it. So you also broke down another one where Cody Zeller was diving to the basket. Well, Jimmy Buckets could take another dribble and he could shoot the ball and miss. And that's a bad shot as opposed to dropping it off. That's basketball IQ. Not only is that basketball IQ, that's also recognizing where to get the basketball to. That's basketball IQ right there. So I remember that play. I remember the one in the corner. When you're making the right play, I mean, I want to make sure that I stay on point here when I say, like you said, playmaking and passing, those two things go together, but they're not the same thing, right? But with that being said, Jimmy Butler, him getting these guys involved, it may look simple. It looks simple because they pros. Now, I don't expect Jimmy Butler to pass like Jordan. I don't expect Jimmy Butler to pass like John Stockton or like Joker. I don't expect him to do that. But I do expect Jimmy Butler to make the right play, which is what he was doing. He was making the right play, as opposed to like the one that stands out to me the most is the Cody Zeller one, where instead of I've seen guys maybe take an extra dribble and get to the mid range. And if I got Cody Zeller dropping it off to him, that may be a bad shot to me. That may be a bad shot for another guy, or the one you had underneath the basket. Dub, what you got to remember is these things, when you get into basketball to guys, they're milliseconds. So to get Joker to commit to me to drop the ball off to Cody Zeller for a millisecond to get him to get a dump off to him, well, that's enough time just to get him to shoot the basketball. You had another one where Jimmy Butler was diving to the basket. Well, if he doesn't get that pass right, number one, he's got the guy in his face. Number two, he's got a big right in front of him. So that ball could go into the second row. That ball can go into the backcourt.
I was hating there. And I would, to be honest, I was hating there a bit. So that one, and I did at the end of it, I did credit Jimmy Butler for that pass because Aaron Gordon was guarding him and he flicked it all the way to Bam. So I was hating there, 100%. That's my bad. But some of the other plays in which you're talking about, the whole thing that I get upset about is I don't believe that just because somebody's having 9 assists game means that they're doing this amazing job at creating for guys, right? So Jimmy Butler, there was 2 plays with like Gabe Vincent, where it was a corner where he dropped the double team and kicked it out to Gabe in the corner. And then the other one where he almost stepped out of bounds and kicked it to Gabe Vincent wide open on top of the key, right? To me, that's you being a great creator and creating opportunities for your guys. Now, I get the point where, you making those reads and those passes and that fast in the flow of the game, like it matters. And I'm not trying to act like as if it doesn't matter, right? But when I'm trying to assess somebody's passing and playmaking throughout the game and being like, all right, is it 10 out of 10? Is it a 9 out of 10, 7 or 6 out of 10? Well, I'm trying to get a gauge between how good that game was for him in terms of passing and playmaking. Right. Plays like that are not really plays where, you're doing the right reads, you're doing the correct thing, like the Max Strus 3. But is that really something where I'm like, wow, Jimmy, like that was such a great passing performance from you, or playmaking performance? The smart play, 100%, and you give him credit for being a high IQ player. But in terms of being a creator, it's just plays like that I don't look at as, that's amazing right there.
So it sounds to me like your logic is the 3-step drop. Just because you hit a dude on a 5-yard hook, okay, that looks great. As opposed to when I'm rolling out and I'm under pressure and the pocket gets flushed, and now I hit this dude on the run for 14 yards on 3rd down, as opposed to I just hit this dude on a simple 8-yard out.
Yeah, so
and then after I hit him on an 8-yard, even though I hit him on an 8-yard out, I did that like 12 times in the game, and my stat line is like 15 for 23, and I had 178 yards and 2 touchdowns, and I had a quarterback rating of 110. You're like, yo, he had an amazing game. Like, wait a minute, hold on, hang on for a second. Did you watch the throws that he made?
Yeah.
Now it depends, and now to your point, it depends on the throws. So, for example, the pass that he dropped off to Gabe Vincent when he's in the middle of the lane, the one that you said was a great play. Which would have been an even better play was if I would have seen him throw it over his shoulder the other way to Max Strus, who was wide open in the opposite corner. If he does that, now I'm like, damn.
Yeah, so that
would have been a damn good pass. However, the other pass was a great pass too.
So the main thing I'm looking at is not really the flair of the pass. I'm more of looking at how much attention you're drawing on yourself, right? So Jimmy Butler drawing that double team that they had to bring on because of his driving ability gave Vincent a wide open 3 because of that. When I'm thinking of a ball handler and creating plays, that's what I'm doing. How much attention are you drawing on yourself to create plays for other guys? Jokic, when he did the hook pass, right? He drawed that attention on himself because the man who was guarding Aaron Gordon, I think it was Kevin Love, went to Jokic because he thought he was about to take Bam, I think left at that moment. That's playmaking, and Jokic seeing that and acknowledging that is reacting off of that. So it's almost like game managing quarterbacks in the NFL, right? You could have a guy like a Geno, you have a guy like a Jimmy G, right? They're going to make the right reads, the right passes to get you down the field. But when the going gets tough, to put some more to be more dynamic, to create more
Right.
plays for your team. Like, can we really rely on them to do that? And plays like that are something that I don't look at as a deciding factor. You feel me?
I do. Now, with that also being said, so Jimmy Butler's playmaking ability in terms of him passing, I think it expands when he's scoring, because now he's attracting the defense even more. So, for example, the play that you talked about when he hit Strus in the corner, that's just a part of the offense. Now, don't get me wrong, it might seem like a simple pass, but it's something that could be disrupted if he doesn't do it the right way. That's why they run it that way, because if he doesn't do it the right way, the same thing with Cody Zeller diving to the basket. That's part of the offense. And if it's not done the right way, that could easily be disrupted. If he shoots the basketball instead, it looks like a bad play. But if he's scoring, so now he's attracting people even more. I would never put Jimmy Butler in the category of James Harden not James Harden. I'm going to take James Harden off the table. I would never put him in the category of great passing guards. When I say great passing guards, I mean degree of difficulty, not so much when he's not scoring as opposed to when he is, because he's made great plays when he's scoring, because I've seen him attract defenses even more. So when we talk about elite playmaking on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst, Jimmy, when he's scoring, I think he's a 7, maybe even an 8 playmaker. But when he's not scoring, I'd put it as like right around a 6, because it's just part of the offense. It's not, it's routine. It's not something, but it still matters. It's not something that's just nothing that's going on, because I still got to hit Strus in the corner. I still got to hit Cody Zeller diving. I still have to do that. Otherwise, that doesn't work. And having Cody Zeller on the floor with him being a positive right there. I mean, even though, he only had 4 points, I don't just look at him as him having 4 points. He was a positive in that aspect. So,
that's exactly when I don't want to start up another debate, but that's what happens when like Lowe and Mars and even myself to an extent brings up John Stockton, right? I do think maybe if John Stockton was more aggressive to be more of a scorer, then his playmaking ability would be better. But majority of times, it's like you said, he's playing within the flow of the offense. And because his scoring wasn't as much as I would have liked it to be, negated his playmaking a bit, right? Jimmy Butler being an 8 playmaker with him scoring the ball. I think John Stockton could have been a 10 out of 10 playmaker pass, even better than what he already was.
Right.
If he actually had that scoring value to him. And that's the difference between a lot of these other guys. I call James Harden a fraud all season long, right? Because majority of the times I would see him running his pick and roll, pick and pop action with Joel Embiid. A lot of times Joel's hitting a contested mid-range shot or creating something like we've seen with Gabe Vincent, where he creates something out of nothing. He's getting rewarded and assists for some floppy actions where the guard's down there and then they run him over at the 3-point line and James Harden just feed him from the top of the key.
Like a flare screen, right?
Yeah. That's not elite playmaking to me. That's just you facilitating. As you facilitating, right? There's a difference. And that's where, when we have these conversations about playmaking and creating, I think that's where we always get confused about and always,
now
at odds.
So to your point about John Stockton, he actually changed his game because he was a scorer early on, especially in the playoffs. I mean, he was averaging 20 a game. He was averaging 27 a game in a series. He had done that. But later on, he ended up changing his game. The fact that he could knock down a mid-range shot brought a lot of gravity to him as an offensive player. And that enhanced his ability to pass. Now, it might seem simple, but because the game wasn't as wide open back then as it is today, it was even more condensed because you got the big guys playing in the paint, which means that the perimeter isn't as wide open as it is today than it was back then. I mean, it wasn't as wide open back then as it is today because, again, you got guys on the perimeter. You got the game being a lot faster, not just the game being a lot faster. Because more guys running to the long ball line as opposed to the big guys playing in the paint. In the paint being, it's less space to operate, especially within there with the game being ran through the big guy. Now, when I think about playmaking, I don't just think about playmaking on the offensive side of the basketball. I think about playmaking overall because as a guard, my point of attack as a guard, if I'm picking up full court, I'm like, for example, I've mentioned this to you in the past, Dub, what Drew Holiday did with Chris Paul in the finals, slowing him down, the point of attack, picking up the pickup point, being faster, now what he's doing is he's creating turnovers, speeding the game up for the rest of the guys. Now Giannis is getting out in transition. Not only Giannis, Bobby Portis is getting out in transition. That's a part of playmaking. Also, getting to the basket, beating up on your big guy, getting your big guy in foul trouble. Now that big guy's got to come off the floor, and another big guy who's lesser than the big guy, we can attack him even more. Not only attack him even more, I can get more opportunities for the other big guys around the basket. Plus, the perimeter players gotta sag and they gotta get involved in the defense even more, which means I can get those guys more involved. That's another aspect of playmaking. So I don't just think about playmaking in the aspect of just passing the basketball to a guy and just creating that sort of gravity. It's a little bit more than that.
So you're rewarding Jrue Holiday for playmaking because of the good defense and the turnovers that he's forcing, correct?
Yes, because he's creating other opportunities for other guys. Like I said, Giannis, he creates a turnover. Giannis is now getting up the floor. Not Jrue Holiday. Giannis is getting up the floor. Middleton is getting up the floor because now we speeding up the offense.
Okay, so would you also feel that same way towards an offensive rebound, maybe resulting to a 3-point shot or a hockey assist to another mid-range or 3-point shot?
Dennis Rodman absolutely was a playmaker in that aspect. Yes, sir, he was.
And
yes,
and so where do you rank?
Even on the defensive glass too, but keep going. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. So if you have that train of thought, the thing is, and I talked to Mars about that, when we start breaking it down that much, I think it makes it very difficult to sit here and have these playmaking conversations because now we're including so many factors, right? So like I want to know for you, like who's your top 5 playmakers of all time? Because I would assume like Stephen Curry, a guy with all that gravity and creating all of that, would he be in the top 5 playmaking? And then I don't know, is Shaq going to be up there as well because of the blocks and then the rebounds that he brought as well? It's just a lot of factors that you're including here. And
that's why when you talk about playmaking, you got to bring all of these factors in. That's why I think about guys like James. I think about guys like Magic. I think about guys like Jordan. I think about guys like Bryant. I think about guys like Shaq. I think about guys like Chamberlain. I think about guys like Olajuwon. I think about guys like Joker because of all of the stuff that they do in terms of playmaking, because it's not just getting the ball on the wing and guys playing off of you, that kind of action. I think about all of that stuff. So when I think about all of that stuff, I think about those specific guys. I mean, I think about Steph Curry in terms of his playmaking offensively. So offensively as a playmaker, I 100% believe that you can make an argument, a legit argument. Steph Curry is a top 5 playmaker all time, 100%. But when I think about playmaking all around, like Jason Kidd is one of the 5 best playmakers all around because of what he does on not only the offensive end, but on the defensive end also. John Stockton, what he does on the offensive end and what he does on the defensive end as well. So when you're talking about playmaking, it is a multitude of things. And when it's a multitude of things, these guys that do those multitude of things better than other guys, that stuff matters.
So who's your top 5? And I wonder if Jokic is in there as well because he rebounds at a crazy level too.
He does rebound at a crazy level. But again, when you're talking about playmaking in the past, what we've all talked about, when we talk about all-time great, what matters is how long you did something. So
okay, that's fine. Yeah,
it does matter how long you did something. So Joker is I believe he's getting there because he's only been elite for a little while. I believe Joker's been elite for about 4 or 5 years now. So when you talk about guys like Jason Kidd was elite for a decade. Stockton was elite for a decade. Magic was elite a decade. Olajuwon, Jordan, James, Bryant, these guys were elite for a decade. So to answer your question, when I think about the top 5 playmakers, wow. So I think Magic, James, Jordan, Jason Kidd, John Stockton.
No Shaq? Right. No, not Shaq over John?
No, I think Stock did more than Shaq. I do. As a playmaker.
The gravity he could bring, though, and then the rebounds as well. I mean, that's tough. Because that's the thing, when you include all of these factors, now we're thinking about so much rather than just passing and assisting and everything, right?
Because it's all of those things.
It is all of those things.
You're talking about rim protecting, because when you rim protecting, what you're doing also is you're man in the paint. And when you rim protect, you blocking shots. Now you speeding up the game also. That stuff is a part of playmaking. So it's a lot of stuff to think about. It is. It's a lot of stuff to think about.
And Rudy Gobert, and then for other ones to get love, I don't want to be talking up everything, but I want to know, where did you rank Rudy Gobert as a playmaker when he was on his run from, I think, 2018 to 2020?
I didn't have Rudy that high because offensively, I mean, because Magic offensively was fantastic, but Magic was at least an average defender. And as an average defender, I mean, he did lead the league in steals, and he was an average. I watched James Harden. I don't think James Harden was the defender that Magic was. And plus, you had to play defense back then. So as good as Magic was as an offensive player, he was at least average defensively. I think Rudy was so deficient offensively that I can't have him in that aspect simply because what he didn't do offensively. So now, because when you're talking about playmaking, you're talking about now from a defensive aspect. From a defensive aspect, how he sped the game up, how he rim protected, how he rebounded. I mean, that's a pretty big deal for a guy like that.
Would that make him an average playmaker because of that? Because of the rebounding and the shot blocking that he caused, which resulted to
all around. If we're talking about in totality,
yeah,
I think that him being an average playmaker is.
And the pick and rolls.
Right. I think Rudy may be above average, but slightly above average as a playmaker. Is he an elite playmaker? He's an elite defensive playmaker, 100% on that. But as an all-around playmaker, I would like to say that he may be slightly above average, considering what he did defensively. Not what he did offensively, but what he did defensively.
Interesting. Well, that's awesome, bro.
Absolutely,
appreciate having
brother.
these comments, bro.
Absolutely, brother.
Be safe, brother.
You know where to find me at. I'll catch up with you. Out. Let me get to my super chats. Hold on for a second. I got a couple super chats I got to read real quick. So keep up the work, OG. Big fan. Absolutely, brother. I'm trying. I'm trying to do what I do. That's what I'm here for. My man Spo chimed in. He said, "Hey, OG, I thought that Michael Porter Jr. could be Brandon Ingram good. Do you think he can be a better shot creator, or do you think he'll just be a three-point shooter?" I for real believe that he's a long ball shooter. I don't see him putting the ball on the floor. I see him running to the three-point line and only running to the three-point line. I think that's primarily his game, and I don't think that he wants it to be anything else. I think that he could be a really good shot creator if he wanted to. I don't think he works on that stuff, and it's obvious when you see him try to shot create. Because if you watched him last night against Kevin Love, he couldn't get past Kevin Love. And I'm sitting there watching him thinking to myself, yo, get off the pill, man. So, and I think that's largely due to him not working on his game as a shot creator. I think that he's more of a long ball shooter, catch and shoot guy, transition. I don't think he's Brandon Ingram good. I won't go that far. Absolutely not. My man Vant came in with the super chat. He said, OG, I dislocated my kneecap over the weekend. Any advice on physical therapy from your experience? A dislocation, wow. If it doesn't require surgery, it's probably something that you're gonna have to stay off of for a little while. A lot of people discount walking and how walking strengthens your joints. And I would suggest walking to get the feel back and to get that confidence back, as opposed to starting to just run. Because if you start running, man, you could dislocate it again. So you might want to, and that's a pretty significant injury. I'm not a doctor, so I've broken some bones in the past. So that's probably the best advice that I could give you, my man. I got one more and then I'm out. Breezy, what up, fam?
Chilling like a villain, man. I just wanted to chill with you all. It's my birthday, so I said, yo, who I want to chill with? If I could chill with anybody, man, I would chill with chill, man. What's going on, man? Happy
birthday, brother. That's what's up. No doubt. Happy birthday to you. Word.
Thank you, man.
Right there. Word.
Live
to see another one. Word.
Yes, indeed, man. Yes, indeed. I just was listening to you and Dub, and I was hearing how y'all was talking about kids and being a playmaker, and you know what I mean. I just felt like the Nets not having a playmaker at the point. I was saying this earlier, and I just wanted to know how you felt about it. The Nets got the 21st and the 22nd pick. And let me connect the dots for you. Ali, the new assistant coach for the Brooklyn Nets, he worked with Amen and Assault Thompson in the elite. So he was like an assistant coach, and he helped with player development. He helped develop those said players, the twins.
In the G League.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm asking you, do you think that the Brooklyn Nets should trade up, take the 21st and 22nd pick, trade up to try to get a Amen or a Son Thompson to help the Brooklyn Nets?
I'm gonna take it a step further than that, Breezy. I think these teams don't do their homework, man. What I mean when I say these teams don't do their homework. So you got the 21st and the 22nd pick. Yo, how about the leading assist man in the country? The top 5 leading assist men in the country. Like, where do you think the Portland Trailblazers found Damian Lillard? They found Damian Lillard by doing their homework. With the 21st and the 22nd pick, you could find a gem.
True.
You just got to do you just got to do your homework. Your point guard may be at a mid-major school that's averaging 7-8 assists, and you go, damn, at 6'3", 6'4", that might be my point guard right there. I got to develop them. But these teams, they don't do their homework. They're looking for the next thing right now. And the reason and the reason why they're looking for the next thing right now is because of where we are, right? We live in that kind of society where, everything got to be right now. I would love to see these teams do more homework and find a guy at Hampton University or at the University of New Mexico, dude averaging 8 assists a game, and he's not the player of the year, but he first team all league. That might be my point guard right there.
Yeah. On that note, Chill, the guy Kevin Ollie, his resume is nice. He was a champion at UConn in 2014. He got a bunch of experience. When I read up on him, he worked with LeBron, he worked with KD, the players that was with him in the league. They always spoke high of him, and he's like a leader. Kevin Durant, again, he spoke on him, and also the fact that he coached college players. And on top of that, we got Ronnie Burrell, who led the he led the Long Island Nets to the conference finals in the G League. We moved him up, so we in-house with it. So we seen the success he brought to the Long Island Nets. So we moved your
point guard right there. That might be your point guard right there.
No, Ronnie, he's the assistant coach. But this is added to what you said about developing talent and finding the talent. I think that's what we're doing with the coaching staff, because Ronnie, what's his name? Ronnie Burrell, he's working with the G League, so he's working with that talent. So, I guess these guys that work in the G League, who they hire, they got an eye for seeing the talent. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so, so I'm just saying, with those 2 assistant coaches and a Jay Hernandez, the third coach who they got from experience with Orlando, him and Jacques Vaughn were together. So that's 3. And again, the conversation is the direction that the Brooklyn Nets are going are developing players. They got 3 assistant coaches who are known for doing exactly that. And I seen an interview beforehand. He's one of the assistant coaches, and he said that Jacques Vaughn was part of the reason of Karis LeVert getting better when he played with the Brooklyn Nets. So that's 4. I count Jacques Vaughn as well. So I think we do well in the draft, and I don't know what direction they go. But I would go to I said all I have to say. I would go to the draft, get a point guard before I get Dame Lillard. To start the season.
You just mentioned it, my man. You just mentioned in terms of the development. If you think about the teams that have been deep into the playoffs, Denver, Joker, he homegrown. Jamal Murray, he homegrown. MPJ, he's homegrown, right? So guys like that. So the Boston Celtics, Jason Tatum, he homegrown. Jaylen Brown, homegrown. Marcus Smart, homegrown. Robert Williams, homegrown. The Golden State Warriors, Kevin Looney, homegrown. Curry, homegrown. Dre, homegrown. Clay, homegrown. These teams, the reason why they've been around for so long is because, number one, they were homegrown. And when you're developing guys like that, not only are you going to get good results, you're going to get good results for a long time. So I like when I saw that trade with the Brooklyn Nets, when they got Mikal Bridges and they got all them draft picks back, I was like, yo, this team, what they can do is exactly they're set up to be a good team in the future, because they can build it like teams build it, like championship teams build it. I was feeling that 100%. I was.
Yeah, nah, thank you, man. Yeah, because that's what we on the same page when it comes to that. Again, man, I'm enjoying the show, man. Shout out to
absolutely, brother.
Like, share, comment, subscribe, man. I'm a fan.
Absolutely, big fan. No doubt. Good to talk to you, Breezy, my man. Out. All
right.
Yeah. I got one more super chat. This is from Exo Screens. He said, thoughts on your Pistons. My thought on your Pistons is Cade's got to stay healthy, but I think you got the backcourt of the future with both Cade and Ivy. I think you wanted something there. I think that Duren, I think he's something to be reckoned with. I'm not really sure exactly what you're doing with Wiseman. I'm not sure. I think he could be a double-double guy, to be honest with you. But it depends on how you use him. I like the fact that you hired Monty and the fact that you gave him the years that you gave him, because we're hiring Monty and giving him the years that you gave him. Now that means that you got time to develop these kids, right? You got time to develop Ivy. You got time to develop Cade Cunningham. Duren is going to get better, right? And so in the process of these guys getting better, plus James Wiseman may have found a home, right? He may have found a home. So now it's just a matter of getting the draft picks right and developing these guys. I think you guys are a ways away, but I do think that you are on the way. So I think that's where we are with that. And with that being said, that's about my time here tonight, guys. It was dope to see y'all. It was dope to see you guys tonight. I will see you soon. I will be back probably Wednesday. Yeah, I'll probably be back Wednesday night. Because that's normally when I do it. But I'm definitely gonna get back in it. But it was dope to see you guys tonight, and I will see you guys soon. But until then, take it light. Take it.